Welcome to Hope Center Online, and I thank you once again for joining us today as we continue our discussion on the search for wisdom. No, not knowledge, no, not information, but for wisdom. 2 weeks ago, I challenged you to read one chapter from the Bible. It was a single, specific chapter from the book called Proverbs, and I was asking you to read chapter 1 to be precise. The challenge for you was not in the reading, although some people would certainly be challenged today to read anything from the Bible. The challenge for you was to read chapter 1, keeping an eye out for any lies. That was all I asked. Read it and tell me if you found anything that smacked of untrue or even of any stretch of the truth. And I'm grateful for those who commented on the challenge, but not at all surprised that nobody reported any misstatement, no lies, no fibs, nothing that even hinted of a misleading word. And you should not be surprised that I was not surprised. After all, I've been telling you for months that I believe the entire Bible, beginning to end, my study and my willingness to ask for clarification has shown me it is truly both the owner's manual, God's, and the user's manual, ours. But today is not the day to get into that debate once again. Today is the day to offer a further challenge, also in the book of Proverbs, a book that my first challenge has proven itself to be, well, rather compellingly true, at least to everyone who accepted my previous challenge. Now, this is critically important because the book of Proverbs is unlike any other text in the entire Bible. I have admitted before that the Bible is hard to read. It's even harder to understand in many, many areas. And more than that, it's obvious that many of you find it hard to believe. But again, today is not the day for that debate. Today is the day to reaffirm that the Bible is the user manual. And now I can imagine there are some ladies listening right now who are smirking, perhaps, saying something like, "Oh, you'll never get your husband to read the instruction book." Well, as a man, I understand where they're coming from, but also as a man who has made way too many mistakes in my life, I also know that I could have saved myself an awful lot of grief over, well, over the years, over my lifetime. So this is not a pitch for reading. This is a pitch to search for wisdom. This is a pitch for a shortcut to a better, more rewarding, and perhaps more entertaining life? How about satisfying life? Let me read a brief description. Again, this is from the book of Proverbs. It's the very first 4 verses of Proverbs 3. And I quote, "My child, never forget the things I have taught you. Store my commands in your heart. If you do this, you will live many years, and your life will be satisfying. Never let loyalty and kindness leave you. Tie them around your neck as a reminder. Write them deep within your heart, and then you will find favor with both God and people, and you will earn a good reputation." End of quote. I can tell you from experience that you will never get greater advice. When it comes to wisdom, no one has more than the one who created all knowledge. Of course, that's God. Think of what I just read. Never forget the things you have been taught. Store it in your heart, and you will live well and be satisfied. Never stop being loyal and kind. Write that in your heart too. And here's the payoff. If you do these things, you will find favor with God and with people. Now, I know some don't give the south end of a northbound rat for gaining favor with God, but that verse says you will also find favor with your fellow man. It goes even further and says very clearly that you will, and I quote, earn a good reputation. Now, that's something most people actually do want. It is said that your reputation is all you have. Most people long for a good reputation. They want others to think well of them. Some perhaps for, well, the wrong reasons. But whatever the driving force, the path to a good reputation is the same. And it is clearly, even repeatedly and emphatically described in the book of Proverbs. Some people think we pastors are always trying to get you to read the Bible, but that's not entirely true. If anything, we're trying to help you to understand the Bible. After all, if it's truly the owner's manual, God, and the user's manual, us, then of course reading it is the first step to understanding it. So, again, I say, if you remembering what you were taught and treasuring what you were taken to your heart, if that's going to ensure a good reputation. And isn't that a truly worthy cause? I'm talking about you. I'm talking about me. I'm talking about all of us finding the formula for a satisfying life. And now, notice I did not say a successful life. I said a satisfying life. There's a huge, huge difference. Success is a subjective word. Your success may not be my success. And success for some is sometimes defined as wealth or power, both of which can come from very negative sources, even evil ways. But satisfying, that's a different story. Satisfaction is greatly misunderstood. If we were satisfied with what we have, we are freed from the hamster wheel for the rest of our lives. We're free from the rat race, the never-ending demand for more and more. You see, a satisfying life is probably more important, but we live in a society that, well, it just constantly demands more. We even teach it in business schools that if we are not constantly growing, we are dying. So, I have another challenge for you today. I want you to think about satisfaction. Ask yourself, what would a satisfying life look like for you? And then ask yourself, where can I find such a satisfying life? The answer? In the book of Proverbs. Imagine that. The first few chapters give you the same kind of a build-up that I just gave. The bulk of Proverbs, in fact, contain hundreds and hundreds of short quips designed as shortcuts to, well, to understanding a satisfying life. Think of them as God's tweets. And speaking of technology, computer geeks will also recognize these little snippets of advice as what coders call an if-then phrase or if-then statements, where the opening says, if you do this, then you will achieve that. You see, each is a short read, but full value for your time. There are 31 chapters, perfect for a 1-month diet. Read a chapter a day, and if you're faithful in applying what you learn, I'm positively certain that you will see a difference in your life in just 31 days. And let that be our challenge for today. And once again, let me know what you find. Let me know if you find anything misleading, anything hinting you in the wrong direction. Let me know. if you find anything wrong with what you read. And I hope you'll come back next Sunday. Maybe we'll have reports from people, who knows. But come back, same time, same place, for what we call Hope Center Online. Check our website for more and get involved, if you like, in our programs and our activities, either at hopecenter.ca or actually in person at Hope Center on Church Street in Pugwash. And if you have any questions or concerns, send me an email. Really simple. Just write to Bill at hopecenter.ca. That's Bill at hopecenter.ca. Until then, may you be blessed here today and forevermore. Amen.